Hello guys, welcome to Selenium with Java January 2022 batch online trading session 10. So in the last two sessions we already covered TestNG and you already know how to create a TestNG project, or maybe right, how to create normal Java project TestNG class, how to convert it to the like TestNG project, and how to deal with the help of TestNG XML file. Right, we can do the different parameterization, kind of data-driven testing. Right, we can do the kind of parallel execution as well, and different concept of the TestNG. So in today's session we will complete the Maven part. What is Maven all about, right? So introduction of Maven, installation and running sample program through Maven, how to execute Selenium script through Maven and TestNG, Maven commands and running Maven project through command lines, what is Maven repository manager, how to implement headless browser testing with Maven, what is the profiling concept in Maven which controls build execution, and importance of Maven snapshot. So what is Maven? So as of now we already creating Java project, right? And whenever we are creating the Java project, in case any dependency need to be added, right, we are adding through manually, right? We are downloading the dependency and then we are adding manually into the project. But here Maven will not download anything. Instead of that, Maven, there is a feature called pom.xml file, which is the page model.xml file, where we will adding all the dependency from the Maven repository. Automatically it will download the relevant jar file to the project. So that is the concept of Maven, right? So Maven is a product of Apache. It's a software project management and comparison tool based on the concept of a project object model, or POM. Maven can manage a project's build, reporting and documentation from a central piece of information. Maven is used to define project structure, dependencies, build and test management. So that is the reason sometimes Maven is also called as a kind of dependency management tool, right, where we can add all the dependency through the Maven pom.xml file. So using pom.xml file, user can configure dependencies needed for building, testing and running code. Maven automatically download the necessary files from the repository while building the project. Maven is a dependency management tool. It executes the framework. We need the jar file. Maven helps user to keep the up-to-date jar file on the framework. During runtime, the Maven will check the version of the jar file present in the local system and compare it with the pom.xml file. If the latest version is available online, then it downloads them automatically, replaces the local version and then execute the framework. So suppose say you already created a multiple Maven project, right? And you already installed, suppose 3.1 version, you already used it. So automatically the relevant jar file will be saved into the .m2 folder. And next time, whenever you are creating any new project, right, and you are adding that for 3.1 again, so it will not try to extract it from the internet. Even your internet offline, it will try to find it from the local repository. In case it is already available in the local repository, so Maven will automatically download the jar file and add it to the project from the local repository. In case it is not there in the local repository, it will try to extract it from the internet and then you will add those things in the local repository as well as in the project. So if there is no internet connection or the latest version is not available, then Maven execute the framework with the jar file available in the local system. It provides build success message if no compilation issue in the framework, otherwise it will provide the build failure message. So in the Maven, how we can do the setup of the project part? First we need to install the Maven. We need to add the dependency with the help of pom.xml file. We need to execute the framework. So if we want to download the Maven, right, so this is the following step you need to download here. So you can go to the help menu in the Eclipse, right, you can go to the Eclipse marketplace and there you can search with Maven and you can just add it, and definitely you need to accept it, right, accept the agreement, and sometime you need to restart the Eclipse if required. So it's already added, so there is no point of reading, but this is the step, you can follow it. So then how we will be creating the Maven project? So let's go to the Eclipse. So here if you click on the file, right, you can see automatically you can create the Java project easily, right, you can see Java project. But if you select the project here, right, you will be seeing Maven, right. So Maven, if one install, it will be seeing. Even some of the time, for some of the Eclipse, automatically Maven is automatically installable, no need to install it manually. Automatically Maven is already associated to the Eclipse. So you need to select Maven project here. So we'll be not creating the Java project, we'll be creating a Maven project. You need to click on the next. You need to click on the next. You need to select the archetype called 1.1 Maven archetype quick start. Then here you need to give the group ID and artifact ID. So what is group ID? Sometime interview that question will come, what is the group ID and artifact ID? So group ID is the kind of your specification for your organization, right? So that is the called group ID, and artifact ID is the project ID. So across organization, in case you are working for a particular organization, so across organization the group ID will be constant in nature. So that's so any one person can identify that project is from that particular organization, right? In project ID you will leave your project, artifact ID will your project ID. So if you give the group ID, suppose say automation Maven project, right? Okay, and artifact ID I can give Jan 22 batch. Okay, you can see automatically package name is created, right? So package is nothing but the group ID dot the artifact ID, and you need to click on the finish. So automatically project will be created. It will not be similar to the Java project. You can see that project is got created. It might take some times. So you need to see whether your that in the lowest part later down here it will be 100% completed. Otherwise everything will not be visible. It might take couple of seconds time. So you can see now it is completed, right? Now if you see the project, right, Jan 22 batch, if you expand it, you can see here, right, two folder called src main Java, src test Java, right? If you expand it, automatically some of the part will be automatically created, right? Project will be created, sorry, some Java class will be created. So you can remove that class. So by default that will be created, no need to use it. You can remove it, that class. Similarly in the main Java also some similar way that class will be created, right? You can remove it, and you can create your package whenever required. And you can see the dependency, right? So in case you are creating a Maven project, but all the Java dependencies should be still added, because you can see all the Java dependencies getting added. But apart from that, there are no other okay. The JUnit dependency by default is getting added to the project, because that is the default feature in the Maven. Okay. Now the thing is that you need to open the pom.xml file, right? And you need to add all the dependency here under the dependencies tag. So here JUnit is not required, I can remove the dependency. So if you double click the pom.xml file, and you need to go to the pom.xml file part, right here. So you can find here the project is created, group ID, here group ID is the project, automatically whatever you created, artifact ID is the whatever you have given, version 0.01 snapshot, that is the jar file, right? Name here, and it's coming from where it is there, right? And this is the properties. So automatically your JUnit dependency is added here. So you can remove the dependency for the JUnit part, but you can keep it if it is required. So I will be removing it because I will be adding the dependency for the Selenium Java and the testng, because I will be creating a testng project, testng classes set. So how you need to add the dependency, from where it will be coming, right? So there is a path. If you just go to the Google and if you search Maven repository, so automatically you will navigate to that path, right? So Maven repository.com, that is the path. You can go here directly. From where you can get whatever dependency you want to get, right? So if you go navigate to that path, and here I will be adding Selenium Java dependency, right? Selenium Java dependency, and you need to click on the search here, and whatever stable version you want to add, you can see Selenium Java. It is coming from the org.selenium.h2 Selenium. You can click here. So I will be going for any 3 version, right? So that this is the table version, you can see. So for 222 MB it's downloaded. And how you can get the dependency here? So because we are using the Maven, right? So that is the reason you need to take it. In case you are using Gradle project, you need to use from that one. So just simply you need to copy it and you need to add it under the dependencies tag, right? So under the dependencies tag, dependency will be added. Then that dependency is added. Another dependency I will be adding called testng, right? Because that is only 2 required. Java is already added, Selenium part I already added, and TestNG part I will be adding it. So this is the dependency for now it's required. So if you search, you can see that is the coming from origin TestNG. So you need to click on that. You need to go for a stable version, right? So I can go for that one. If you click here, automatically you can just copy it and you can add it, right? After adding, you need to press save button. Okay, so it might take couple of seconds time to a couple of minute time to add all the dependency. Once it is done, once it is added, you can refresh it. Refresh the project, and you can see in the Maven dependency section, right? Those are the things getting automatically added, right? All the Selenium dependency, all the testing dependency automatically added. So that is the reason you no need to create anything, right? Suppose say next time that particular version Selenium part you want to go with my testing part, you want to go with 7, right? 7.14, like, okay. So just you need to change the version name. You need to add the dependency and you need to place it 7. So automatically the previous one will be removed and newly one will be added. That is the importance of Maven. You no need to manually download anything, all the jar file. Just you need to add the dependency for the respective part. Automatically, in case any older version is associated to your project, automatically that will be removed and new part and all the relevant dependency will be added. So you no need to manually download it and you no need to add it one by one like that, right? So automatically it will be added to your project in the Maven dependency section. In case you are adding more dependency, automatically it will be getting added here. In case you are changing the version here, so automatically the whatever previous version was already associated, that will be removed and new version will be added. So that's the beauty of the Maven. That is the reason it is called dependency management tool, right? You no need to manually add all the jar file to a project or replace them, remove them. Automatically you need to update your pom.xml file and the dependencies with the latest version. So automatically in case any previous version or associated to your project, that will be removed, and based on the latest dependency, automatically it will download all the jar file to your project. That is the beauty of Maven pom.xml file, through which we can manage all the jar files or associated jar file in the project, right? So now in the SRC main Java we should not create the test case, but in the SRC test Java we need to use the test cases. So here in the packages, right, I can create some TestNG class here. Click on the okay. So suppose say giving session 10, right? Here I can create it. Okay. So here say suppose say test case name, I can give some called okay, that's what I will be giving. I want to add it. So I want to open the Facebook page, right? So that is the part here, and I am defining some variable called global variable called WebDriver driver. Okay, so we need to import it because you already added the Selenium dependency. That is the reason it is coming in the project, though we did not manually added the jar file, right? Similarly, the Chrome driver also able to manage it, and we can change the name of the project, sorry, method here. Suppose say Facebook, that is the method, right? And I can add it. So I am setting the properties for the Chrome driver, maximizing the window, opening the Facebook page, and this is the kind of stuff it will be printed in the console. Facebook opened successfully. I want to get the title of the project. I want to close the project. Now you can see you can run it as a TestNG test. So it will be running from your class level. So Chrome driver started successfully. So it will launch the browser. It will load the page for the Facebook page, and it will just get the title of the page, and it will close the browser. That's the simple way you can just do it, right? okay, right? So you can do it, you can run it from here, right? But instead of that, we already added a pom.xml file from where we can run our test cases, right? Whatever is already class, we are adding it, right? So if you want to run it, so there is an option called maven test. So that can be only accessible from the pom.xml file. You just try to run it, but initially it will fail because you need to add maven surefire plugin and maven compiler plugin to your project, to your pom.xml file. Then there will be no failure and it will be success. So that part will be, you can see here, that will be not running the project from the class level or the test.xml level. Instead of that, will be running it from the pom.xml level. So there is in Maven there is a few steps there. First, it will clean the workspace in case you already run it, right? In case something is there, it will clean it. Then it will compile it so that it will verify any kind of error is there or not. Then it will try to execute the test case. Then it will package it. Because suppose in case you are running it, right? So that code you need to deploy it somewhere in the environment, right? That is the objective, right? In the real time. Suppose in the testing drive, right? Whenever we are doing the testing, right? Developer team is giving you environment, right? That they are developing the code. So you are doing the testing, you are identifying the defect. At the end of the day, all the defect need to be retested and closed. After that, some sort of code will be there, which that need to be deployed in the real time production environment. So that's code. How you can do it with the help of test engine and Java project, you cannot do it. So in the Maven project, there is an option called Maven package. So some snapshot or jar file will be created, and that jar file or the WAR file can be deployed in the environment. So here you can see there is an error message came because you did not install added the Maven compiler plugin or surefire plugin. That is the reason error message came, right? So let's go to the PPT one. So I think we are creating the project, we have added we have added the dependency. Now, right, we already created the project, we have added the dependency for Selenium test-ng, right? We are able to run it from the test-ng test, right? And then we'll be adding the Maven surefire plugin and the Maven compiler plugin. Okay, so here I already added it. Okay, so anyway I will give you the code, right, how to do the surefire plugin and the compiler plugin, add it. Okay, so that is the plugin you need to add. So after the dependencies tag, you need to add it. So right now I think that person will not be required, so that will be required later point of time. So you need to add the build plugin management tag, then plugins. Under the plugins tag, we will be adding that one plugin, right? And then we'll be adding, this is the Maven surefire plugin and this is the Maven compiler plugin. This is the two plugin you need to add in your project, right? This is the plugins and you need to save it. So once the that plugin is also added to your project, then you can run it with the help of Maven test. Okay, so it might take few seconds time to update your project. Now if you want to run it, Maven test, you can see it should run successfully. You can see first it will try to clean the thing. In case any run is there, any history there, it will delete everything. Then it will compile in case any error is there in the code or not. Then it will try to execute your test case. You can see build success now comes. So it will try to execute your test case. Okay, so there is no error. Okay, but it will still not pick it up because Maven will not be able to execute with the normal way. So I can add that code, but it will not be able to execute it. So here some test.engine.xml file reference is required, right? So now say I will be creating one more class, test.ng class here, new other, Okay, testng class, say session 10, and instead of Facebook page I want to deal with Google page. Okay, Facebook 10 called session 10 called GOOGLE, Google, and I can click on the finish. So same line of code I can copy it here. Okay, instead of Google, right? So here I will be creating a method called Google, right? And instead of Facebook I can change it to Google. Okay, here also Google page. So this is the two test case I have written. Now if you want to run it from here, you can see the Google page will be open here. So in the same package I will be creating two class, testng class. So you need to remember that even after adding the dependency, in case you are not converting to testng project, it might be tough. So that is the reason. So whenever you are working on the Maven project, right, you can just convert them as a testng project. So your isolated Google part is also working, right? Now I will be converting the project to the testng. So you already know how to convert it. You need to right click testng, convert to testng. So automatically pom.xml file will be testng.xml file will be generated. You can see here both the project is there, right? Both the classes is getting added. Session.10 Google and normal session.10. You can click on the finish here, and now if you open the testng.xml file and if you want to run it, so both your class will be running, right? So based on the alphabetical order it will be run. So with the help of testng suite you can run it. So based on the alphabetical order, Google is running first because G comes before F, and then Facebook page will be open. You can see Google page opened successfully, and the title of the page is Google. Facebook page is open successfully, and the title of the page is Facebook. Okay, now we need to add the reference of the testng XML file, right? So where we will be adding it? So here you need to add it in the that here, right? In the configurations here you need to add it, the reference of the testng file. Okay, that is the part after the version. Okay, so after the version here I'll be adding it and the name of the testng file, right? Here name is testng.xml file. You will be adding it and you will be saving it. Then now if you want to run it, so based on the testng XML file configuration, it will try to execute the test cases now. Okay, now I will be running it with the help of Maven test. So run as Maven test. So now it will try to execute both the class session 10 and session 10 Google based on the testng, right, added, right, because both the class has been added in the testng.xml file, and now in the pom.xml file you added Maven CureFire plugin and Maven compiler plugin as well as the testng.xml reference file. You can see the test is able to trying to run it, running test suite, because we are running the test suite which is testng.xml file where multiple classes can be present and multiple test case can be there, right? You can see again based on the alphabetical order you will try to execute the test case. So with the help of Maven test we are running it, right? So Google page is getting run, and again the next test case will be running based on the testng.xml file configuration. So you can see the output is came here also. So we are running it with the help of Maven test, not with the help of testng.xml file. So that is the beauty, right, of the Maven. So you need to add the Maven CureFire plugin and the Maven compiler plugin. You can see now, right? It is coming with the help of Maven. Now you can see build success. total number of time, final memory is utilized, finish time, start time, total run, total failure, and the output also, just like the console, right? You can see here. So everything is run through Maven only, right? First scanning the project, then compiling it, and then running it, Maven test. So that's way it will run it. Okay. So that's the pretty much thing about the Maven test. So we can first create a Maven project where you need to give the group ID and artifact ID. Group ID is nothing but the organizational level kind of specification, and artifact ID is a project kind of relevant project name. As soon as will be created, like there will be two folders will be generated, Maven test and kind of SRC main Java, SRC test Java. SRC test Java folder you need to create, automatically the package will be created, whatever default class it will be there you can remove it, and then you can create multiple test-ng class, right? After that you can convert the project to the test-ng, and as and when test-ng.html file is getting generated, right, you can right, add all your classes to run it, right? And before that, in the pom.xml file you need to add all the dependency, right, where you will be using the test-ng and then Selenium Java. Even Java automatically added because it is a Maven project, but Java all the thing will be added, okay? But you need to add those dependencies whatever you want to work on that. So automatically all the relevant jar file will be added to your project, right? And then in the pom.xml file you need to add the CFire plugin, compiler plugin, where you need to give the path of the test.xml file. After that, with the help of Maven test, you can run all the test cases, all the classes associated. So that is the beauty of Maven. There are so many features available. I'll be covering one by one. So that is the part I already told, written here also. Okay. So any questions so far, guys? Is it good? Are you able to understand it? Okay. Now if you refresh the project here, okay, you could see here in the test output folder generated, right? And similar way it will give you test-ng report, right? If you go to the emailable HTML report and if you open it, right, open with kind of web browser, we will be able to find it some sort of report here, right? Total number of test case 2, a total time, and this is your package into the class name, this is your method name, right, and this is the different part you could be able to see. So that will give you some test-ng result as well. Okay. Now instead of Maven, and instead of we are running it with the Maven test, we will try to run everything through command line, because here if you want to run it with the help of Maven, right, there is no option called packaging, right? You can clean the project, you can build Maven, right, you can generate source, you can install, you can test it. Sometimes even suppose say your Eclipse is not working, you want to run it offline, right, then how can you do it, right? Okay. So that is the reason, right, you can integrate it through your command or the command file, right, okay, or the prompt file. Okay, that part we will be doing it now. So for that one, whatever you need to do, you need to download the installation file for Maven. So that is the path. You can go here and you can download the installation file. So that path already given in the PPT, and you just need to download the that file. Okay, that file you can download it. So here it is already downloaded some other version. So this is the file I already downloaded here, Maven, Apache Maven, right? So this is the file downloaded already here in the desktop. You need to just unzip it, and once it is done, you need to go to the project, sorry, my computer, and go to the properties. Just like the Java home setting, right? You need to also add the Maven home setting for the Maven file and bin file, right? You need to go to the advanced system setting, and you need to click on the environment variable, and you can see here I have added the Maven home, right? So Maven home, the path till the Maven folder, right? So this is the folder path I have given it, right? And in the path variable, if you just edit it, I have created the path till the bin folder for Maven, right? Till the bin folder. So that is a simple thing, you need to add it till that path. So this is the two part you need to add it. And I was telling that, right, as you are working on the Maven immediately, right, you can see here, and if you go to the computer C drive, okay, my computer C drive, users, your name, and you can see automatically .empty folder will be created. So here all the package will be there, all the jar file will be added, .empty folder, then repository. So automatically, in case you are creating a Maven project, automatically .empty folder will be added, and all the repository management will be stored into here only, right? So you can see there are so many things you already added here, right? There are, in case you are adding with other thing, words, right, for the test ng, right, Eclipse. Yeah, you can see the test engine dependency whatever you added, right, that is the already created folder, right? So all the thing you already added. So whatever version we have used now, we have used the version for now 1 second, for the test engine whatever version we have used 6.14.3. you can see here that should be definitely available. 6.14, sorry, 6.14.3. yeah. So now if you open it, you can see 6.14.3. so all the relevant jar file for each and every version will be automatically added to your project, right? You can see here that is the jar file, right? But in case you are just doing it manually, you need to download it from the internet and you need to associate automatically in the manual way. Suppose say tomorrow you will be using 7.15. So what you need to do? You will remove it from your project and then you need to download it again. But here we will be just changing that changing that part. I mean version number. Automatically it will remove it and it will do it. So that is the one of the interview question usually asked, right? Where your repository will be getting added. So you can see your user and .empty folder, all the repository will be added for whatever repository you are adding it for one time also, but that is the only one common folder. It does not matter what project you are created, but this is a common folder where it will be added. So okay. So now I already created I already downloaded the Maven installation file, added it, unzipped it, right, added the Maven home and then part, and already that compiler plugin, pure file plugin already added in the project. Okay, then these are the command I will be running it one by one. So how we can run the command? You need to simply press Windows R, and here you can type cmd command prompt. It will open the command prompt, right, through which we can add all the command, right? Or you can check the version of the Maven whatever has been installed, right? So if you just write it's Maven hyphen version, it will give you the what version, what is the path already you would, because that is the reason you need to add the path, right, that Maven home and the path variable. So you can see this is the Java version and this is the Maven version, right? This is the path for the build folder, Maven bin, right, in my desktop, and then this is the folder and this is the bin. So automatically you can get to know. Apart from there are so many commands. Maven clean, it will clean the project. Maven compile, it will try to see that any kind of comparison is there or not. Maven test, it will execute the test case, and Maven package. So this command builds the Maven project and package them into some jar or Word file. And Maven help in case any kind of failure or other thing, right? You can take the help from with the help of Maven help, right? So if you type here Maven help, so any kind of error is there, other thing is there, you can will give you immediately. But if you want to check that Maven test, Maven kind of stuff, okay, is there. So that are the different kind of stream, because you did not given the path here. So first you need to give the path here. So how can you get the path? So this is the project we created, right? So right click here and go to the properties section, and you can get the path here. So this is the path you can take, and then you can go to the path here directly. So you can press CD and then give the path. So automatically you will be navigating to the project, right? Now you can type the command one by one. Maven clean. So it will clean the project. So whatever last history already there, it will clean everything, it will remove everything. So this is the sequence. So whenever you are running the test, first it will clean the project, it will compile it, it will run it. Even if you are running the build, automatically it will clean it and then compile it. and if you want to package it, Maven package, so first it will clean the project, it will compile it, and then it will run the project with the help of Maven test, then it will package it. So that is sequence. You can see build success, right? So this is the build success. Now if you refresh it, target folder will not be there. Okay, you can see target folder nothing is there because it's removed everything. Whatever previous version was there, it's removed everything. Okay, the target folder nothing will be there. Okay, now you can run the next command called maven compile, right? Compile. So it will compile any kind of error is there or not, it will compile. Means compilation error, not the execution error. In case of any syntax error is there in your code, right, it will let you know immediately, so that you can correct them. Then you can run maven test. So it will try to execute your test case, mvn test. So maven again it will try to clean the project, compile it, and again it will try to run it. So that are the different sequence of actions with the help of maven command you can trigger. Okay. Some sort of exception is triggering. If I want to run it, maven test, it is running. It is running through that one, might some problem is there, to sort it out. Sometime error used to throw, okay, without any problem. Also sometime error used to throw, you need to run it for a couple of times. So it's run successfully. I will try to run it here from one more time. Maven test. Yeah, you can see it is running without any error. Okay, yeah, we do not change anything, right? It is still running. So sometime you no need to worry. Okay, maybe we will not be doing anything. Okay, might be having some trouble with the command prompt. Let's try once more time, because remaining portion already started here. Yeah, you can see this running, again it is getting failed. Failed to execute Maven Surefire plugin. There it is, failure. Okay. The path once more. Maven Surefire plugin. Let's see, we can even change the Maven Surefire plugin here. It's working or not. Might be it can change something so that we can update it in case something is happening because the Surefire plugin. Go to the command prompt, but it is running from here, it is not creating any problem. Let's see once more time. Or I need to debug it. I will see other project is working or not. Whatever project already created. No, it's same error is throwing. Might be some problem in the Surefire plugin and to debug it. Okay, let's see other project, whatever a project already created. So this is the project already created, Maven test, right? You can see the same way, right? This is the pom.xml file. Let's try to see whether that project is working successfully or not. So cd ambient test. So you can identify what the issue is there actually. Okay, that project is working. With the help of command prompt also it's working. I will try to figure it out in case it is there, otherwise that project, with that project I will show you what are the different command. You can see with the help of command prompt also, right? You can see that Facebook page, Google page, everything has been there. The same way I have created the project only. So I will see what is the difference was there. Any kind of other differences added here or not. Same thing, let's try to copy it from here. You can run. it's running. It is running. Okay, so now we are able to run it again here. For try to run it once more time, and let's see whether it's running or not. Maybe that new project I will be working it here. Okay, so kill. One second. Let's close the command prompt. Open it. CMD. Go to the path here. CD. Okay. Then Maven test. It will be running the test based on the alphabetical order. From that particular project. So it's working fine. Now you can package with the run. You can command called package. So here it will happen. It will try to build, compile, clean, and then run, and then package it. It will do the packaging format, some jar files. So that is the concept of packaging. So it will first clean the project, compile it, then run it, and then after running the code, it will convert it to some jar file or WAR file. So that code you can deploy in some other relevant environment. Okay. Yeah, you can see that is the path of the jar file, right? Where the jar file got created. Okay, this is the jar file, right? It's got created because we are running the project called command called Maven package. Now, if you refresh the project, you can see automatically there will be jar file created. Refresh it. The target folder, you can see that is the jar file means created, right? So where all the code will be there, you can deploy it in the server. Otherwise, if you do not run the package Maven package, right, jar file will not be created. Then the Maven repository I was already talking about, right? As and when you are creating the Maven project, automatically .m2 folder will be created there. Okay, and automatically all the dependencies, as and when you are adding the dependencies, all the jar file will be added to the .m2 folder. So in the Maven repository is a directory where all the packages, jar file, plugin, or any other artifact are stored with form.xml, right? So repository in Maven holds build artifact and dependencies of various type. User need to add multiple dependencies for any framework in the project pom.xml file or the page object module file. Okay, it pom contains all the dependencies that are being used by the current project. There are three type of dependencies there in the Maven. One is the local, one is the central, one is the remote. That questions might come in the interview as well. So local is nothing but the .m2 folder. So Maven repository is located in the local computer system. It is created the Maven when the user run any Maven command. The default location is the user home.m2 directory. When Maven build is executed, Maven automatically download all the dependencies jar file into the local repository. For a new version, Maven will download automatically. If the version declared in the dependency tag in pom.xml file, it simply uses it without downloading. So that is the reason, right? In case already there, it will try to use it from there. In case it is not there, it will try to get it from the central repository. So user can change the location also. In case if you want to do it change it, you can change the location. So Maven central repository are located on the web site. So this is the path of the website from where it is coming. So in case somebody question you, right, where the Maven repository is coming from. So in the Maven central repository, that is the path repo1.maven.org/maven2. Okay, it has been created by the Apache Maven itself. So whenever they are adding any dependency, they are adding it in that particular path. The company which is maintaining the site, they are adding it. It contains a large number of commonly used library. It is not necessary to configure the Maven central repository URL. Internal access is required, right? Whenever, in case your that particular dependency is not already available in the local repository, so it will try to download from the central repository. That time, definitely some sort of internal internet will be required. Otherwise, how will interact with that, right, particular site? Okay. So when Maven cannot find a dependency jar file for local repository, it starts searching in the Maven central repository. First, it will try to find in the local, then central, and then remote. So remote is nothing. Suppose say in the open in the Maven site, right, there are 100 repositories available. But for you are working for a particular organization, right, and that organization might customize something. Suppose in every organization, right, they are having some in-house tool. So in case they need to interact with the in-house tool, right, they need to interact with, you need to add their logical dependency, whatever they create for their organization. So that is called the Maven report repository. So Maven report repository is stored in the organization internet network of the server. So that is the reason sometimes you need to connect with your internet organization, right, or some LAN connection, all this stuff. The remote, the company maintains a remote repository outside the developer machine are called remote repository. So that's why the dependency will be added. Group ID, artifact ID, and version. Right? Sometimes it can be depository ID, URL, right? Everything will be there. That's why the Maven remote repository will be there, specific to your organization. So how Maven will check all the repository one by one? So Maven will scan through local repository for all configured dependency. In case it is found, then it will find. Otherwise, it will continue for the. It will go for the central repository for that particular dependency. In case absence of dependency in the local repository only. So available dependency will be downloaded in the local repository for the future execution of the project. In case dependency is not found in the local and central repository, Maven start scanning in the remote repository. First local, then central, and then remote, right? In case also remote is also not able to find it, right? So Maven will throw an exception, not able to find the dependency and stop processing, right? It download all the found dependency again to the local repository. So whatever it is again downloading it from your central or remote, right, it will again download. So the next time it will again go for the local, then central, and then remote. But in case it is getting something new in the central or the remote, it will download again in the local. So that's why it is used to create or maintain the updated version in the local repository. So if repository manager is dedicated server application designed to manage repository, the usage of a repository manager is considered as an essential best practice for any significant usage of Maven. The following are the open source and the commercial repository manager known to support the repository format used by Maven: Apache Archiver, Cloud Repo, Cloudsmith Package, JFrog Artifactory, open source JFrog Artifactory Pro, Sonatype Nexus OSS, Sonatype Nexus Pro, and the package Cloud IO. But as of now, I see that Sonatype and that Cloud Repo or the Apache Archive is used much from that repository management. so they can store something in their commercial site, right, in their site. Instead of your local machine, if any organization want to store everything in their organization network, right, so that are the different repository management can be used. So here you can store all the local repository centrally. Then how you can do the headless browser? So it's nothing but just you need to add the dependency. Just you already seen the headless browser testing, you already did, right, with the help of Selenium. So here you need to add the dependency for the headless browser, right? It will be HTML unit driver. That is the thing, you can just search it here. HTML unit driver, HTML unit, right? You can hit enter and you can search it. Yes. So that is the really okay. I think that not the correct one. Yeah, that is the HTML driver. So just you need to add it in your repository manager, right? So here whatever project you have already created, we already added it here. Okay. You need to add it here. 1 second. Let's go to the project. I'll be adding it here. Suppose say repository manager, any version, I will go for that one. And I'll go to the project here. So headless browser is nothing, right? But if you do not want to open the browser, right, but your execution will be successful, that is called the headless browser testing. You already see that with the help of HTML browser, we can do the headless browser testing. Headless browser or browser like any other, but without a graphical user interface GUI. The GUI allows user to visualize an aesthetic representation of the page source code, right? But you will not able to visualize the execution, but your execution will happen. If you want to add some screenshot, right, if you want to just validate something, you want to add some assertion, that everything will happen, but you will not able to do the validity, right? So main advantage of using the headless browser is that, right, it is more lightweight and therefore require less computational resources such as memory and processing. They are ideal to use in environments that do not have any GUI example. In case they want to deal with any continuous integration server, right, and do not have any GUI, then you can just use it. So suppose say I'll be using here it called WebDriver driver equal to new HTML driver. Okay. So if you go to any project here, so here instead of that part we can just comment it out. That part I can comment it out, and I can run driver equal to new HTML unit driver. HTML unit driver. So we need to import it. As you added it, automatically it will be coming. So that is the beauty here. If you go to the dependency section, right, you can see that HTML unit driver will be added here. HTML. You can search it here. Maven repository. 1 second. That dependency will be added. Yes, Selenium remote driver, right? It already get added. Firefox, Edge, Chrome driver, everything was there, but that also get added. So that is the reason it is coming, and that is the jar file it is able to do it, right? Now if you want to run it from here, you can see it will be running it. Similar way you can run it from the form.xml file, or you can run it with the help of Maven test. You can run it from anywhere. So you will not able to see the visualization, but you will get the desired result. Okay, you can see here pass, and you can get that part, right? But you will not able to see the visualization. So that's how you can do the headless browser testing. Then the next part is the Maven profiling. So what is the importance of profiling? So in the last session you already see the grouping part of the test engine features, right? Suppose if you want to group it, right, some of the thing, right, you can do it with the help of test engine. Now with the help of Maven, how you can control the execution, right? Where suppose if you want to segregate it, right, some of the test cases to the smoke test, some of the test cases to the regression test, some of the test cases to the functional test, integration test, UAT, like that, right? So Maven profiles can be used to create customized build configuration, like targeting a level of test granularity or a specific deployment environment. Within each profile element, user can configure many elements such as dependency, plugin, resources, and final name. So Maven profile is an alternative set of configuration which set or override default values. Profile allow to customize a build for different environment. Profiles are configured in the form.xml, and each profile is identified with an identifier. What are the different type of profiles? Where is defined? It's available here. One is per project, which is defined in the form.xml file. What is per user, which is already there in the M2 folder. You can create a setting.xml file. One is in the Maven setting, right? So where it will be there, Maven settings file. So if you go to the Apache Maven, right, you can see here there is a conf folder is there, right? You can see there's setting folder. So here you can set also, you can just open with. So this is the three area where you can set it. One is the form.xml file, one is the .m2 folder, you can create in some setting.xml file, or otherwise this is the location where you can see here. You can see, so based on the location we have given it here, right, .m2 folder. So that is the reason repository is getting stored, but you can change it from here also if it is required. So that in the relevant updated path, repository will be getting added, right? In the profile, right, you can see all the things, so you can change it if required, but generally we do not change it. Profile, yeah, you can see this is the profile tag, right? For the profile, whatever JDK is required, all this stuff is already here. Okay, so this is the three way. Then how you can deal with the profiling, why the profile is required, right? So if you create multiple profiles, so let's create some profile here. I already created in the previous project, so let's go to the project. So I'm not creating few more here. So this is the project, right? This is the project we already having. Now if you open the test cases, test Java, the packages, you can see there is a two test cases. New test case 1, where we are deal with the Google page and Facebook page, right? This is the two page, this is the two test case we are trying to open it. So Google and Facebook, this is the one test case, and another test cases we are not, just simply the test method we are trying to just print out in the test method, right? Now if you open the form.xml file, and first let's go to the default test in the XML file, right? You can see this is the new test one is already set up, got it? So in that form.xml file, that project and that class is already associated. Okay, so that class only will be running. New test class, whatever is already there, it will be running only. So now if you want to run it from here, so whatever new class the two test cases at Google and Facebook, that will be running. So only just it will open the page only and will quit the browser. Okay, sorry, it will not able to run it from here. Okay, and because we have created so many test and XML files, that is the reason it will not allow. Okay, we have to run it with the help of Maven test only. We have created another test and XML file. So whenever if you want to deal with the profiling, right, you need to create multiple test.ng XML file, and that test.ng XML file reference you can add it in the pom.xml file for each and every profile. So here we have created two test.ng XML file. One is test.ng.xml, one is test.ng.2xml. Where for the 2xml we have given the path for the test case 2 or the class 2, right? New test class 2. That is the path we have given. And for the test.ng.xml file we have given that fast XML. Now if you open to the pom.xml file, you can see here you need to add one more tag called profiles before the build, right? And after the dependency, so that is the tag I have added it here only simply. First profiles, so under the profiles multiple profile you can add. So one profile called smoke, right, where we are trying to run it the test.ng2.xml file, means it will run the test case new test case 2, right here. So that is the tag you need to add it. So you can see this is the profile tag. Under the after the dependency you need to add profiles, and under the profiles just like the dependency it will be dependency. Under the dependency stack multiple dependency can be added. Under the plugin stack multiple plugin can be added. Similarly under the profile stack multiple profile can be added, and this is the tag for the profile only. Okay, after that you need to have the similar way build and the CureFire plugin, and you need to give the reference from the test.xml file. You need to complete that profile tag, right? That is the profile tag is getting completed here, and again we will be creating a new profile called regression, say. So that is the name you can give in it, right? And here you can maybe change it for now. Default part I will be showing you. Okay, and say again, and the profile again you will be adding the CureFire plugin, and the whatever thing will be there, it will be common for all the profile, right? And here you will be giving the reference called test.xml file. So that is the reason you need to create multiple test.xml file where you will be doing a setup, because with the help of test.xml file you can group your test cases. You can just give the reference of your particular test cases, right, particular class from the different packages. That is the test.xml file, but Maven do not have that kind of luxury, right, to deal with that. But test.ng is having the luxury. So that is the reason multiple test.xml file you can create it. Suppose if you want to create all the test cases, right, you can create one test.xml3, right, and we can create another profile where all the test cases will be run at the same time. So you can create three profiles. One it will run only the test case class 1, one it will run test case class 2, one it will run 1 and 2 both. So that's so you can create multiple profile, right? So I already created the profile, two profile. One is profile called regression, which will run the test case number 1 based on the test.xml file, where it will run the Facebook and the Google page, and based on my two test case 2, based on the profiles MOOC, it will run the test.2xml file, where the setup is only in the new test case 2. We will just try to execute that one only in the console, right? Now let's go to the path here, how to deal with the profile. So let's go to the path here and go to the command prompt. Okay, already there in the Maven test project. Okay, so you need to, if you want to run the profile part, you need to run that way. Okay, you can see already given example, no need to worry. So and after the project, profiles, tags, then profile you need to add it, and the build and other remaining part is still constant, right? If you want to activate a profile, you need to run through that way, Maven package -p and the name of the profile. Okay, so Maven package -caps p and the profile name, right? So here I am having two profile, right? One is smoke profile it will run the test case 2 based on the testing.xml file. So I will give the name here smoke. Let's see how it is running. So it will try to run the test case class 2, new test 2, where only the test method will be executed and some output will be coming. So that's why I can run based on the profile, right? Instead of running all the test case based on the profile, I can run it. You can see that's the output is came, test method, right? So because that in the test class 2, that is the only test case is written, and that is the expectation. Now if you want to run the test case 1 based on the testing XML file, right? So you need to run the other profile. So that's why in case you are having so many things, right, you can just differentiate with the profile. So I will be running maven package -p regression. That name should be exactly same here also, regression. Yes, that is the profile ID, right? Let's try to do it. So we will try to run both the test case Facebook and other test case, right, Google, in the same class. We already defined here. So let's see whether it's running or not. You can see it's running. Okay, so your test case is getting passed here. So that is the concept of profile. You can see, right, Facebook page and the Google page is coming, and the jar file also getting generated, build success, right? Now next question will come, suppose say, right, suppose say you already having 10 sort of profile. One is for the regression, one is for smoke, one is for sanity, like that only. One for UAT, one for integration, one for other way, right, system and end to end, like that. But most of the time you'll be running only the smoke test, right? Okay, though you have created 10 profile, but most of the time you'll be running your smoke test. So then how can you make default as a mock test as a default? So that though you have added 10 profiles, but in case you are not mentioning the profile name, always your mock test will be executed, because in case every build is coming, right, always you'll be running a mock test or sanity test. No need to touch on the regression, right? Or maybe sometime in case you want to run always the regression suit, 10 test case, 20 test case, then you can make it a default. Then how can you do it, right? So that is the part you can do it, add it, right? After the profile name, you can add activation equal to default. That is the 3 lines of code, you can add it. Yeah, you can see. So that regression will be by default. Okay. Now if you do not give the profile name, right, if you just simply want to run it with the help of package, right, maven package. So though you have multiple profile, but default profile will be getting run. So that is the concept of the default profiling. So sometimes you might be confused, right? I have 10 many profiles, but I do not want to mention the name of the profile. I want to run it the default one, which will be running most of the time. So you can just add the default one, so that you no need to mention the profile name. Automatically your default profile will be executed. Okay, so that is the beauty of the default profile concept. So in case you are having 20 profiles, right, still if you want to run only specific thing, right, multiple times, 90%, 95% time only one profile concept, you can make it default. So that based on the default profile, you no need to give the profile name. With the help of maven package, it will still run it, and it will just compile it. It will first clean the project, then compile it, then execute the test case, and it will just convert that code into some relevant jar file or WAR file. That is the complete for the Maven. Then the last topic, so it's like what is the importance of the snapshot in Maven. So you already seen, right, as and when you are running it, right. So if you refresh the project, you can see in the target folder snapshot version is generating, right, snapshot.jar. So what is the concept between the snapshot? So during development of a large scale application, the process involves a series of changes to be made in the application till it is confirmed to be ready as a final release, because there could be multiple teams working on the application across different set of modules. Okay, suppose say there are 5 teams working, A, B, C, D and E. So everybody is developing something, right? Okay, but every hour their code is getting changed. Okay, but if you give some stable version like 1.2, so what will happen, right? What will happen? Suppose say I already pushed the code 1.2, but in case I am still working, that code will not be reflected in the 1.2 because this is already fixed version. So that is the reason whenever multiple team is working, they should not go for any fixed version. They should go with some snapshot version, so that in case you are just committing your code, that is also immediately getting updated to the snapshot version, and other team member can access your updated code. So that is the importance of snapshot, right? Even multiple times I also asked in the interview, right, the what is the importance of the snapshot, right? So that snapshot will give you the updated code, right, based on the latest changes, but any version if you are using, that will not give you. So here I have given, right, consider two team A and B working on two different modules, and let's say team B will be independent on the service provided by team A. Say team A is involved in working on some major critical fixes, and those fixes will be checked in every day. So team B has to notify it in a way that there is still some pending work by team A, and the final version has not been released by the team A. This is where Maven snapshots come into the picture. The snapshot is a special version which indicates the current development copy of the project which is being worked on. For each build, Maven always checked out for a snapshot of the project. Hence, whenever Maven finds a newer snapshot of the project, it downloads and replaces the older jar file of the project into the local repository. Snapshot version always gets some updates or changes being made on the project. Also, snapshot should only exist only during development phase, and it will not be having a release version. So that is the basic difference between the snapshot and the release version. So this implies that the build of the project will be changed at any time, and it is still under the development process. So what is the difference between snapshot and versions? So in case of snapshot, Maven will automatically fetch the latest snapshot like data service 1.0 snapshot every time Maven test project is built. In case of version, Maven one downloads the mentioned version, say 1.0, then it will never try to download a newer 1.0 available in the version. To download, it will go for 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4 like that. But that will be not be the immediate basis, right? In case you are updating your repository, right, in the download XML file, all the repositories, then automatically will update. But in case of snapshot, in case you just putting the committing the code, automatically it will be updated in the snapshot version, and your code also reflected that some changes have been made. You can be notified. So that is the different important aspect in the snapshot and the version, release final version. So you already see what is Maven, how to create the Maven project, right? How to add the dependency, how to create multiple test-ng classes, how to convert your project to the test-ng, and then how with the help of Maven test, right? Maven test with the help of performance tool, how you can execute it, right? And definitely you need to add that kind of different dependency. So they are plugin, Maven Purifier plugin, Maven compiler plugin, right? And if you want to run it through the command line, you need to install the project, right, through which you can run it. Okay, then with these are the different command: Maven version, Maven clean, Maven compile, Maven test, Maven help, and the Maven package. So it will package the code into some WAR or jar file, and that can be deployed in your environment. And there are three types of repository: local, central, and remote. So it will try to check with the local repository. It will go for central repository. In case it is still not found, it will go for the remote repository. In case it will not found, it will throw the error. But in case some central repository or remote repository will get something, it will update the local repository as well at the same time, so that next time your local repository will be up to date, right? These are the different kind of Maven repository manager, where from the organization level they can save all the dependency with the help of some tools. With the help of Maven dependency, right? So HTML WebDriver added, you can do the headless browser testing using Maven, and the profiling concept is nothing but that in case you are working with multiple some sort of suite, right? Multiple test and XML file where you giving the reference for different system test, system integration test, regression test, UAT test, MOOC test, so you can do the profiling, so that based on the profiling your relevant test case will be only run without reflecting the other. And if you want to run one particular profile multiple times, you can make it default also as well, right? And the snapshot version is kind of not release version, it's still available, some code can be changed and you need to use the snapshot, so in case multiple team members working instead of the fixed version or release version, so there are any changes made in the version, right, other member can be notified and they can just up to they can make their code updated based on the snapshot version. So that are the different topics which is relevant to the Maven. So okay, so I think that you can practice it and that will help you, right, to learn more thing on the Maven, because in the real time, right, Maven project will be only used, right, whenever you will be creating the framework from the scratch, and you can integrate any dependency in the Maven from .xml file, and automatically all the relevant Java file will be added in your project. So that's all from today's session. Thank you.